Okay, so today I'm making a short video on, what happened to my powerhouse Amuse S2000. So that was my first S2000. If some of you guys don't know, this one is the second. This one is a 2004 AP2. My first one was going to be that, Amuse GT1, and that was the 2003 AP1. So to get started, my first car that I ever got, I think I was 19 at the time. It was an MR2. It was a 1990 SW21. So the SW21 stands for, it was an NA, so it had the 5Z instead of the 3G motor. And then I might be getting those numbers mixed up. But anyways, that one was a hard top, no turbo, it was manual. And so I got that car from my cousin, and it was really cheap. It was like $2,500, and then repainted the car, did a wide body, a wing, wheels, front lip and everything. I'll show the photo of the car, and then had that car for about a month. And then this Amuse that I was following at the time was owned by Ethan. So Ethan just put the Powerhouse Amuse GT1 kit on. And from what I knew from him was that the car was, it was it was the last kit that Powerhouse Amuse's founder had made before he had passed away. And so that kit had meant a lot. And so at the time, he was asking me if I was wanting to sell the MR2, which I said no. If it wasn't for, NSX money, then I wouldn't sell the car. And then he was like, how about trade for an Amuse S2000? And I told him straight up, I was like, I don't have any cash to add on top. And he said, whatever, it's fine. I just want someone who wants to take care of the car. And so, a couple hours later, we traded titles, and that was that. I was the owner of Powerhouse Amuse S2000. Granted, at the time it was purple, and it was, the car was fully gutted out on the inside and everything. So it wasn't something that I was used to, and it also at the same time wasn't something that I wasn't used to. So I was broke 19-year-old. Granted, I'm still broke right now. It's not what it looks like, And anyways, continuing on, moving forward, the S2000, that car was a string of bad luck for me. As I had that car for about a week before I went to do some mountain runs with my friends, and someone with another S2000 had rear-ended me. And so obviously I had to, we went through insurance and everything, and I got the car repainted, the quarter panels molded on, and so on and so forth. And then after that was probably about a week or two after I had the car finished, had finished repainting. And then I was down so granted this time was intertwined with the time period of me and my first ex-girlfriend. And I took her to downtown Seattle, and we were pulled off to the side of the road, and I pulled in right behind this truck, and this truck was backing up, and he didn't see me in his mirrors, and he obviously he backed into me and cracked the front bumper. Obviously through insurance we didn't get much money through that, and so I just never fixed it and just left it the way it was. And then after that, there was another incident where someone had rear-ended me while the car was parked. So the rear bumper on that car was cracked because of that. And then another incident was, while I was waiting for the swan neck that's currently on this car, I went to, I think it was in Bellevue. It was in Bellevue. It was going into wherever the 13 Coins building, the parking is. I think it's the Hyatt. We would go in there, go in the driveway, pop, destroys the front splitter, and that was that. And so I went through three front splitters on that car, and then after that, got a new lip, got a new front bumper, made the little bacon canards, the Amuse canards that everyone seems to think was good, but everyone who saw it in person is some aluminum that I cut and then molded to the shape of L brackets, put it on. I got a lot of shit for it, but I wasn't in the best financial situation. And I don't make financially good decisions. So if you're watching this and you have the opportunity to choose to build a car, don't do it. It's a waste of money, it's a waste of time. And then after that, once the car was kind of back in one piece, I had taken it to the track, and I over-revved on the track the first time and blew the motor from that. But the motor didn't blow until probably about 4 months after that, which then was also, that was a period where I broke up, or we broke up, and just a lot of, you know, not so great things in my life happening at the same time. Obviously, it was broke, you know, paying for a $4,000 motor. That was not really within my financial, you know, capabilities. I can't save money for shit. So, and then after that, we got the motor back in. You know, we had the C28 RTs on there at the time. And then, you know, we moved down a little later where I swapped to the TEs, and then got a new bumper again. It was a replica bumper. It was a Duraflex bumper. So that was the black bumper. That was why it's black. And I never told anyone it was, you know, real. So anyways, we did the Voltex canards, the end plates on the rear, the depot tail lights, and all that sorts of stuff. And then this was when the second relationship came along. So one night we got in a fight, and I was near here. It's on. I was coming home from Alki, and it was pouring that night. It was absolutely pouring. And so coming down, I'll let that pass. So coming back, some nice backfiring. Anyway, so coming back onto the freeway, there's this dip before you get on the freeway on West Seattle Bridge to go back towards Seattle or wherever you need to go. And in that dip, there was a shit ton of water. It was like, it wasn't a puddle, it was like a lake of water. I hit that, immediately tore the chassis mounts off, cracked the front splitter, cracked the bumper right down the middle in half, destroyed the canards. It tore off my rear bumper mount. So on the S2000, there's this L bracket that's welded onto the chassis, and the top 3 bolts for your rear bumper go on there. And that absolutely tore that off. And that was, you know, one incident. That incident cracked the radiator as well. And I remember during the time, like, I was slowing down, but I didn't slow down enough. It was probably going like 20 miles an hour into the puddle or into the water, and boop, water all over the windshield, and that was that. That was in the story. So moving a little bit after that, I got everything put back together again. You know, another replica bumper, and then one incident before the final, the incident that kind of like caused everything to go, you know, downhill and down south and caused me to get rid of the car was I was in the University District. I was there meeting up with some friends, and I was parked on the side of the road, so parallel parked up against the curb. And then some girl just comes in a Kia Soul and just, like, you know, sideswipes my car while I'm sitting in there, curbed the TE, you know, and then destroyed the what do you call it? Destroyed, or well, it didn't really destroy anything, but it was like messed up the paint on the quarter panel and then the front bumper again. I was just whatever, you know. And then not too long after that, I went up to my friend's house. This was like wintertime, I believe. So some of my friends lived on Cougar Mountain, and I was going up there to you know, hang out with them. And then as I was leaving, or no, as I was going up the hill, it was like this 90-degree turn into their apartment or their house area, and it was a pretty steep uphill. And I saw this white stuff, you know, I thought it was salt. It was, you know, it was fine, you know. I go up, and then I realized, I mean, I didn't really think about it. It really wasn't slippery. But anyways, we go out, we leave, and I go down the hill, and I was like, you know, this is that white stuff again. Is it like salt? You know, and obviously I was probably tired. I was being an idiot, you know. I went into it, got on the brakes, obviously. And 88Rs are not going to stop on ice on a downhill 90-degree turn. And so ran that shit up into a curb and hit a tree. And so I wasn't the only person to hit that tree. I moved my car that night, because if I didn't move my car that night, the next morning there would have been someone else in there. So that destroyed the front bumper, headlight mount, splitter, obviously. And then the control arm was probably a little bent. And then obviously just the front suspension stuff, but everything else was, you know, good. I could have saved the car, but at that point, you know, one of my friends, or George actually, was like, you know, maybe the car is not, you know, it's not good luck for you. You know, it didn't mesh up with you very well. And then there's the saying, it's like, you know, we call it fate, you know, in Chinese it's 缘分 or 缘分 or whatever. And me and that car really just didn't have it. So I was just kind of like, okay, I'm done, you know, I'm not going to fix it. And that obviously wasn't the best decision, because the next financial decision I decided to make, which was this car, put me in a really bad spot. And obviously I'm still in a really bad spot now, but that's all because of my own doing. So I don't blame anyone for anything, any sorts. Obviously I'm not the greatest person. I've done some not so great things. But then, yeah, that was the final straw that caused me to just, you know, that was it. You know, obviously we moved some stuff over to this car, the hood, the wing, hardtop, the mirrors, you know. I moved the wheels over at the time as well, so this car actually had T's as its first set of wheels. And then Toto let me borrow his C28Ns. And then obviously now we're on the GTs, so 3 sets of wheels for this car as well, and hoping to get a new set soon. So WeekFest 20, what is it? Oh, 2020, oh, it's almost 2020 now. This car will be redone up again. So yeah, that was kind of the short story about, you know, what happened to the Muse. And that car, you know, after that, I parted a lot of the stuff out, and I had sold the shell. So with the brakes, with the wide body, or with the remainder of the wide body, and some other miscellaneous stuff, the JRZ-RS Pros, you know, I sold that to Renegade, because I'm pretty sure, you know, Heap down at Renegade Motorsports will definitely take care of the car, and he's working very closely with Powerhouse Amuse to get parts for S2000 enthusiasts. So I'm pretty sure the car's in good hands. So if you guys follow their Instagram, you'll see the car there, and so that's where the car is now. So Heap now owns that car. You know, hopefully in the future I'll be able to buy it back from him, but I don't think I'll be ever driving that car again, because that car to me is just bad luck. And that car is Silverstone, this car is white, so none of my S2000s have actually been red. Previous one was painted, this one's wrapped. And so this is just the short story, and now you guys know everything. You know, you guys will see the photos. Now there'll be no more questions, and hopefully everyone doesn't think that it's the same car, which the point is, you know, I kind of like it. Like, this is my colorway. This is the way I like to, you know, have my cars done up in, you know, contrast-wise. And so it wasn't on purpose to make people think it was the same car. But obviously this car is in way better condition. So yeah, I hope I answered all the questions about what happened to my old S2000, and I hope you guys aren't curious anymore. Anyways, you know, this is it. If you guys enjoyed the video, obviously like, subscribe, and share with your friends if any of you guys want to know. Obviously be making more videos from here on forward. So yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next sit and chat or story time with Cullen.